नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8. Lord Krishna shows the universal form. Texts 8 and 9. So together we will read text 9. We'll just read text 8 and then we will do word to word with 9 and then we will recite the verse. Kangsaf papamati sakyang tavacana kadundubehe devakya ashtamo garbho nastri bhavitum arhati. Please repeat after me. Iti sanchintayan shrutva devakyaha dharika vachah api gata ashankah tarhi tat nah anayah bhavet iti sanchintayan shrutva devakya dharika vachah api hanta gata shankas tarhitanno nayo bhavet iti sanchintayan shrutva devakya dharika vachah api hanta gata shankas tarhitanno nayo bhavet iti sanchintayan shrutva devakya dharika vachah api hanta gata shankas tarhitanno nayo bhavet. Tarhitanno nayo bhavet isancintayan shrutva yadarika vachah shankas tanno nayo bhavet isancintayan shrutva devakya dharika vachah api hanta gata shankas tarhitanno nayo bhavet. Mataji. Iti sanchintayan shrutva devakya dharika vachah api hanta gata shankas tarhitanno nayo bhavet. Iti, in this way, sanchintayan, considering, shrutva, and hearing this news, devakyaha, of Devaki, Dharika Vachaha, the message from the daughter. Api, although there was. Hanta Gata Ashankaha, there is a possibility that Kamsa would take steps to kill this child. Tarhi, therefore, Tat, that incident, Naha, for us, Anayaha Bhavet, may not be very good. Translation unpurported by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation: Kamsa is both a great diplomat and a very sinful man. Therefore, having heard from Yogamaya, the daughter of Devaki, that the child who will kill him has already been born somewhere else, having heard that the eighth pregnancy of Devaki could not bring forth a female child, and having understood your friendship with Vasudeva, Kamsa, upon hearing that the purificatory process has been performed by me, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, may certainly consider all these points and suspect that Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Then he might take steps to kill Krishna. That would be a catastrophe. Purport. Kamsa knew very well that Yogamaya was after all the maidservant of Krishna and Vishnu, and that although Yogamaya had appeared as the daughter of Devaki, she might have been forbidden to disclose this fact. Actually, this was what had happened. Gargamuni argued very soberly that his taking part in performing the reformatory process for Krishna would give rise to many doubts, so that Kamsa might take very severe steps to kill the child. Kamsa had already sent many demons to attempt to kill this child, but none of them had survived. If Gargamuni were to perform the purificatory process, Kamsa's suspicions would be fully confirmed and he would take very severe steps. Gargamuni gave this warning to Nanda Maharaj. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Iti Sanchintayan Chrutva Devakya Dharika Vachaha Hapi Hanta Gata Shankas Tarhi Tanno Nayo Bhavet. Kamsa is both a great diplomat and a very sinful man. Therefore, having heard from Yogamaya, the daughter of Devaki, that the child who will kill him has already been born somewhere else, having heard that the eighth pregnancy of Devaki could not bring forth a female child, and having understood your friendship with Vasudeva, Kamsa, upon hearing that the purificatory process has been performed by me, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, may certainly consider all these points and suspect that Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Then he might take steps to kill Krishna. That would be a catastrophe. So now we see here Gargamuni is putting forth an argument to Nanda Maharaj, explaining the point that you are asking me to perform this purificatory ritual, but the purificatory ritual is for the benefit of the child, and it has to protect the child, but our very act will end up in catastrophe, because we will discuss the various reasons for that. And he just begins the discussion with the point that Kamsaha Papa Matihi. He's not an ordinary person. Kamsa is a terrible demon, Papa Matihi. So Prabhupada in the word to word he says, very, very sinful, having a polluted mind. He's not a normal person. He can connect things together from different angles, and then he can figure out. He has counselors, he has his ministers. He can put it together and figure out that it's the son was actually he's the son, he is Krishna, so it's very dangerous. And also one of the acharyas in the commentary, he makes a point that he's Hamsa Shila. Hamsa Shila means person of bad behavior. Srila Prabhupada rightly puts it here as a person with a polluted mind. So Kamsa, sorry, it's Himsa Shila. Yeah, because I made a point that it's Himsa Shila. Himsa means who gives difficulties, who gives trouble. He's not Hamsa for that matter. He's not as pure as a Hamsa. My mind is very polluted. So, so that's the point being made. And here a reason has been given. So he says Devakya Ashtamo Garbho. So the 8th pregnancy of Devaki, then he will think. Actually, the 8th pregnancy of Devaki should not bring forth a female child. Actually, it should have been a son. He should have been carried away. So all these things he will be able to connect. So this verse being spoken by Gargamuni, it's in Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur points out that this is in response to the kind of an answer is giving. So who is going to do all this? And you just do the ceremony. It will be very nice to be performed for Krishna. But then who is going to investigate about all these things? But then he says that no, don't take it very lightly. This is a very serious matter. Kamsa already killed so many of your other child they were born. So it's not a big thing for him to investigate this and then come forward to kill Krishna. So which is a very disaster. We should not get into this. And he's kind of creating fear in Nanda Maharaj. That's what is happening. He's kind of creating a situation to be very intense so that Nanda could understand the situation and then withdraw this idea. So then we see in upcoming verses that Nanda Maharaj is suggesting that it's very good that you are such a great, at the beginning of the verse, beautiful verse, which explains that a personality like Gargamuni coming to their place, that itself is a great fortune. Mahad vichalanam nranam grihinam dina chetasam nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate nanyata kochit. What a great fortune. You great sadhus, great personalities, you mahad vichalanam. So the movement of the great personalities is very, very rare. And that too, you have come to a residence. What a great fortune it is. So, yeah, in that particular verse, he makes that the sadhus, they travel from one place to another simply to benefit the family people. That is the aim of the sadhu. Otherwise, he has no business going from one place to another. So he says, such a great personality like you have come here, so we should perform this purificatory act, and so let's do it in the Goshala. So that was the suggestion. Very, very silent. Let even not my brothers know about it. So that was the idea. So now we see here the reasons being given by Gargamuni, all very valid reasons. And as we heard yesterday that, of course, by this act, Gargamuni wants to make sure that from Gargamuni's point of view, he was very anxious for Krishna, protecting Krishna. Nanda Maharaj also is very anxious to protect Krishna. In fact, the entire the Vrajavasis, they're always anxious for the welfare of Krishna. This is their mood. In fact, a pure devotee, his only anxiety is to please Krishna. So, so we see here then another reason that acharyas are also quoting. They're saying that King is already in the 4th chapter. The situation has come where Yogamaya is chastising Kamsa. He says, King Maya Hataya Manda. He says, you dullard. Already the person who is supposed to kill you is born. What are you thinking? You're going to kill me? So Gargamuni reminds about all these things. So already Kamsa is aware of it. He knows what has happened. So we have to be careful in performing this act. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary, he points out that then he says that so he gives, then he says yeah, very nice point. He says that Garga responds here to Kamsa, to Nanda Maharaj, who may retort, still he won't harm you. You are a Brahmavadi. Says Gargamuni, you are a great sadhu, you are Brahmavadi, you are knower of Vedas. One who expounds the Vedas or one who asserts that everything is Brahman. He says, but then he says why he has used the word Papamatihi. He says that because This fellow is a very sinful-minded fellow, very cunning. He will not see whatever when the situation is for satisfying his own senses. He will not see what is right, what is wrong, what is dharma. No consideration. So because he is papamatihi, you have to be very careful. So he says that the idea is he seeks to harm persons like me. And then he says, moreover with Sakyam, he says, he will certainly do wrong to you too. So he says that not only to me he will harm you also, Nanda, he says. And then he gives explanation that because he knows that you are hostile to Vasudeva, you are a friend of Vasudeva, so he will definitely plan a very wicked crime. Then it will end up in disaster. Yeah, and then he points out this Devakya Ashtamo Gharbo. So he also knows about it. So Vishnu Chakravarti further explains. He says that the sense is Kamsa thought, my enemy is only Vishnu, who has already taken birth in Devaki's womb. However, by Vasudeva's skill, he entered the house of Nanda. So all this connection he will make. His friend. This is what Devaki's little girl meant to say. So what Devaki was trying to say, everything she revealed. So in that way, Durga, my Ishta Devi, assumed the form of Devaki's little girl and suggested to me by saying he took birth somewhere, that I should hunt down and defeat him swiftly. While the search for him will be going on, Kamsa will suspect that Vasudeva's son is in Nanda's house. Then he says, once he arrives, he will kill Hanta. Then we will have a big trouble. Anayaha, Mahan. So that is what here. And Srila Prabhupada also point out the same thing here. So he will take severe steps to kill the child. Basically, we see here in these verses, just a few verses, we can see the great love that is being expressed by the devotees. On one hand, Nanda Maharaj is expressing his love to perform, as we saw, as a responsible mother and father. It is their responsibility to see that the samskaras are done for the child, so that the child will be protected, the child will be nourished properly, spiritually, and also he will grow very nicely. So that's how any affectionate mother and father who is really considering the welfare of the child, they will do. So Nanda Maharaj was really affectionate to Kṛṣṇa, and he wanted that welfare activity to happen for Kṛṣṇa. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, it appears like Garga Muni doesn't want to perform his purificatory rites. Again, he is also anxious. He is also very much considering the welfare of the child. So he says the same thing. He says, let us perform the act. He says, let us not do it. So both are for the welfare of Kṛṣṇa. So this is, both are anxious. Both have anxiety for the welfare of the Lord. In fact, this is bhakti, actually, to have this anxiety for pleasing the Lord. So that we see here, that Garga Muni warning Nanda Maharaj in this situation. So yeah. So now this is a very important. From this verse, there's one very important message that we can derive, is that the pure devotees of the Lord, they are always anxious for Kṛṣṇa, and in the material world, it's just topsy-turvy. It's just on the completely. There's a perverted reflection that there is anxiety. Material world means it's just full of anxiety, nothing else. But that anxiety is always to satisfy the senses. Just how to satisfy the senses, and there is so much anxiety for that. And the end result is it's only a disaster. It's a complete thorough disaster and suffering and frustration. That's what is in the material world. So much anxiety to satisfy the senses. So many plans people have to satisfy their senses. So we can see there are so many, like the youth, specifically in so many fields. We can consider different examples. Like there is specifically popular in India is the various cricket matches, and there is so much anxiety. People, before the match is going to commence, a day or 2 days back, there's so much analysis is being done, forecast is being given, which team, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what will happen. And they just read pages after page and trying to think what will happen. So much anxiety, which team will win. It's completely on a mundane platform. So yeah, also you can see in tennis or in football, or also the best intelligent thing is that those commercial people, they use the best use of these situations. They mint money like anything. They put so many advertisements. What will happen? Watch out. There is so much advertisement. and then so much money is being minted, and then foolish people, common people like us, we are so foolish, we are just behind all these things and creating so much anxiety. Some of them have sleepless nights. Everybody has this experience. So this is on the sports field, sports side, so much anxiety. And also there is a huge field of what do they call, the bet, what do they call that, there's a big gambling also going on for who will win the match, and there is also a lot of anxiety for that. There is also we can see, so different sports this is going on. Then another common thing that we can see in the material world, that there is between the lovers so much anxiety, when I will meet her, when I will meet him, what I will give, what she will give. There is so much intense anxiety for that. And again, it's just frustration, just satisfaction of the senses. Then another, this maybe not much in the West, but in India it's so much. The children who are in their they're going to they're writing the 10th examination, and then they are so much preparation. I know one boy, he was just studying. I'm just saying, during my school days, he was in the 5th standard or 6th standard. So after the school, he used to go for a course. It's called as a Target IIT. So I was really shocked. He's a 6-year-old boy, and there was a tutorials. Maybe somebody may remember. It's called Brilliant Tutorials. So they used to have a course called Target IIT, and then my friends were proposing, hey, you should also do it. What is this, Baba? 6th standard. He's just after 6 years he's going to appear for the exam for the IIT, but he's being prepared. He's being being motivated, and then in books after books. It's for the elite group. You become part of also the course had a name called elite. That's why I came to know about that word. And then you become intellectual. You become a top-notch person. And then so much anxiety. 8 hours in the school, and after the 2 hours goes for the course. And then the mother is on his case, father is on his case, the relatives are on his case. And then on top of it, yesterday I was asking one Mataji, so how is your son? How is he doing? Yeah, now he's preparing for his IIT examinations. And she said that he goes to sleep around 1:30, 2 o'clock. That's how it is. They come back from the school, they go for a course, and they have a lot of assignments to perform. Such an anxiety for an young boy. So much anxiety. So this is on one side, these exams and all, such madness. Such a madness here in India. You cannot imagine this. They cram for the exams and prepare so much. And then what is the end result after the exams? Okay, you get relief after the exams. No, you get into a very professional college. You get into IIT or get into one of the big business schools or some engineering college, and then actually your anxiety levels begins to increase there. You have another 4 years of heavy study. Okay, after the 4 years of study, is it relief? No. Then you get into a corporate, you join an IBM or an Intel or HP, and then your life becomes hellish. That's what happens. Then more difficulty, more anxiety. Then okay, does it end there? No, it doesn't end there. Then people have to get visa. For visa, I remember in Chennai, we have the US consulate. The people stand in queue. Like you come for Mangalarti, there's a huge queue. At 4 o'clock, people stand. Now maybe the system is a little different. You used to have a huge queue. And then, I had gone for the visa. So I was standing, and then one mother and father, they were in such tears, crying like anything. Because 2 times the boy's visa was rejected, and this time he got the visa. And they were in great tears. The boy finally got an opportunity to go back home, back to God. And like that, they were crying for some. First I saw what is going on here. This is what is the result. There's so much anxiety in this material world. People are suffering and actually struggling. And on top of that, you have great anxiety with their health. You go to the doctor, different doctors give different opinions. You really do not know what is the problem. And then you are suffering with that. So and then not only that, then we have the school admissions. There's another madness. This madness is that there are some top schools. So the parents have to get the admission, and to get the admission form, they stand in queue as well. Now, if you just analyze the kind of madness that is going on in this material world, so we will at least come to know, if you are anybody who is little sensible, know that this is not a place of a gentleman. Where it's really anxious. That I remember there's a school called Padma Sheshadri Balavan. It's a very famous school in Chennai. And some people shift their houses from far off places. They stay, their house is in Tambaram, or Tambaram is a far off place. This school is in KK Nagar. So let's say some 30-40 kilometers, and they have been living in the place in the place of Tambaram for some 20 years, 25 years. They said, why you shifted to KK Nagar? I asked one of my relatives, I said, I want to put my son in the best school in Padma Sheshadri Balavan. And and such an anxiety for that, whether we will get an admission, you will not get an admission, and how things will go around. It's so much craziness actually. And then There is also great anxiety for becoming very beautiful. There are so many. You can just imagine in India, some 10-15 years back, there is no concept of this beauty parlors. So much of wherever you see, so many beauty parlors are being opened. All the time. That men, women, now everybody has to have special hairstyles. Trim their eyebrows. Have different kinds of makeups. All the time anxious, just worried. Just worried. That's great anxiety. And then also now with so many gymnasiums all around, there's all this. Really, I came to know about all these things very recently. That all these packs, 6 packs, 7 packs, 8 packs. I do not know what is this packs. 6 packs, 7 packs, 8 packs, all craziness actually that's going on. That's another madness, and they're so anxious. A fellow who used to eat like elephant, and he's fasting. He doesn't even drink water. He said, "No, I'm on diet." For what? He wants to impress the opposite sex. That's all, and for that he's just having such a great discipline, and he's very anxious to do that. That's another thing. This is what is going on, and then another great anxiety. Then there is marriage. After all these things, there is also marriage. Marriage is, of course, nowadays people are not so bothered to marry at all, but there are still some people who want to get married. And for marriage also alliance, matching alliance. And then like the other day we heard that they give so many specifications. What the girl should be like this, their color complexion should be like this. Nobody's bothered about the character. So same, the girls, from the girl side, he should earn his minimum salary should be like this. He should be part of the corporate. So many demands. One of my relatives. I was speaking to Ram Kumar Prabhu the other day, that one of my relatives, for quite some time, she didn't want to get married, and their parents were so much with the idea of let her pursue her higher education, let her get a doctorate. They should have got her married very early. They didn't do that, and then after some time, there is the girl already, whatever it is, I want to get married. She's quite old now. It's not so easy to get an alliance. So much anxiety for the parents, anxiety for the girl. So the whole material society is packed up with so much anxiety, confusion, and then there is. I just heard from one of my friend that there is something called, no, you in the material world is full of sadness, SAD. So my friend told me that there is something called social anxiety disorder. The acronym goes like this: SAD, social anxiety disorder. That's what is happening here, and people become very much emotional into so many things to satisfy their senses, and yeah, they call it intense emotional syndrome. This is so many jargons they give. Ultimately, people are suffering. That's the reality in this material world, and the only people who are really happy are the devotees of the Lord, who have no anxieties. Yes, the devotees do have anxiety, but it's a different kind. The anxiety on the spiritual platform. In fact, who was that? When some couple of years back, when His Grace Manidhar Prabhu was here, he said that just give you a warning: don't join the Hare Krishna movement. He said if you join the Hare Krishna movement, you'll be into a lot of anxiety. People generally think that you join the spiritual society so that you can be very peaceful, shanti, and then you can be happy. But when you join the Hare Krishna movement, you have too much anxiety. Chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Wake up early in the morning. Come for the Bhagavatam class. Associate with devotees. Go out, distribute books, engage in various service. But actually, this is the anxiety we want. This anxiety will lead us to develop pure love for Krishna. And we can see all the pure devotees, they are always in anxiety. Always in anxiety, how to please Krishna. How to increase Krishna's pleasure. So the greatest example for that is the gopis. Their only intention, even if that famous incident is there when Narada Muni went and then asked for the dust from the feet of the gopis. He didn't think for a second. They said that Krishna has got a headache. His anxiety should be first of all reduced. So we will do anything for that. So that is the pure devotion. That is the highest level. So that's why they are considered to be the greatest devotees of the Lord. Yeah. And then we can also see devotees. Devotees also, there is another way when they want to help. It is among the devotee circle also. The devotees are anxious to help other devotees. It's a very good sign to help others to become Krishna conscious, to become Prabhupada conscious. So in many ways we can help others also. Because even we are all neophytes, we are all struggling in the sadhaka platform. So we need help. That's why we are all together. We need association of devotees. And by the association of devotees, we remind each other to think of Krishna. We remind each other to glorify Krishna. We remind ourselves to how to increase pure emotions for Krishna. That is pure devotional service. And we see here that's what exactly is happening. Vasudeva's intention was to please Krishna, and Gargamuni, considering Vasudeva's welfare, of course, of Krishna's welfare, and Nanda Maharaj's welfare, he is now giving sober advice not to perform this ritualistic, this particular ceremony. So this is also an anxiety, and we can see in the Chaitanya Leela, so many examples are there. We can see King Prataparudra, he wanted to somehow take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was in great anxiety because as a sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his own standards. He was setting a great example that sannyasi has got no business to do with the king. With one who has got so much riches, power, sannyasi is far away. So he was not interested to meet King Prataparudra. And the devotees had to devise a plan. Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they were anxious. So what can we do so that we can bring King Prataparudra closer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And then we can also see another example that there's so many examples, few examples that I thought of. Another one is, we can see Kala Krishna Das, he was right in the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He messed it up by the attraction of the gypsy women when he was in Kerala. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him back. He said that I cannot keep him with him. So the devotees were anxious what to do, how to help him. So they sent him to Navadvip. They sent him, okay, you go give the news about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. You go give message to Sachimata. So he was engaged in service in separation. So this is one of the incidents. Then right in these chapters we can see how Mother Yashoda was so anxious, so much she was in great anxiety how to please Krishna always. So she was she was boiling the milk. The milk was meant for Krishna, but she didn't want to give the milk at that time because she wanted to, for the welfare of Krishna. She was anxious that the best of the milk that we have got, so that has to be boiled and preserved for Krishna. So again, she was greatly anxious to please Krishna. She was always anxious. She was thinking, oh, now Krishna is moving around. He should not fall down. He should not hit something. We can see it's natural, no, for a mother always anxious about her own son or daughter. They are just thinking, and that's what we see in the material world. The nearest one for pure love, they're always thinking how to please the child without having any expectation. They don't think that, okay, this boy in future he will join this company, that company, and he'll earn a lot of money, he'll bring name, fame, and glory. No, mother's only intention at that point of time is how to please the child. She's even happy cleaning the when the boy passes stool. Like Eng said, she happily does it. So again, this is a great expression of love from the mother. But then that anxiety she has while bringing up the child, that is very appreciable. But the Shastra says that the pure love, Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he points out, Atendriya Priti Vanta Tare Bhali Kam Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Premanam. So he defines what is pure love and what is pure sense gratification. Kama is simply for satisfying one's senses. Simply by you make so much endeavor simply to satisfy your senses. And prema is that with one's senses one tries to please Krishna. So that is the platform to which we should raise ourselves. And then if you just open up Ramayana, there are so many incidents where the devotees are so much anxious to please Lord Ram. Again, a big oceanic Purana, the Itihasa, where it says the pure love of the devotees, Lord Ram. You can just see one quick example of Lakshman and Guha. Both of them were so much anxious to please Lord Ram. Both of them are, that when Lord Ram was staying with Guha, Guha was doubtful on Lakshman, and Lakshman was doubtful on Guha. How to understand this? You cannot understand. These are all expressions of both were in so much anxiety, tremendous anxiety. Both were doubting each other, simply out of love for Lord Ram. It's again an amazing thing. Then and also when Hanuman and the other soldiers were in great anxiety searching for Mother Sita. What an anxiety. Just they had deadline, they had a short time to achieve the results, but they were fully dependent on Lord Ram, and then they were trying to please the Lord, and they achieved. They took so much pain, but those pain, those anxiety are pure emotions, or the real anxiety which actually gives bliss. This anxiety gives bliss. So we all devotees also, we have what to say, we have what to say, droplets of these moments. When we specifically what we can think of Janmashtami time, everyone is so busy. We are fasting. Everyone is so much pushing various services. Pujari department is so busy. The flowers department is so busy. There's a whole party cooking. There's a party arranging for parking. There's a party inviting the people. The devotees distributing books. Everybody is very intensely engaged. And we can see, you never know when the time goes. The next day morning, we just see, oh, it's already night is gone. And oh, we didn't eat anything. That is the intense absorption. And that's very good, great purification. There's a kind of austerity that we perform, but this austerity purifies us like anything. And so this month is is a great opportunity for purifying ourselves. So many of us, we have to take out our time, come out of our routine, and then try to push the books, try to help please Srila Prabhupada in that way. And it's great purification. There are devotees who are doing throughout the year. It's not marathon is not only for December for them. They are so much absorbed throughout the year. They're always anxious how to help a conditioned soul to bring him to Kṛṣṇa. This is the perfection of one's life. Like how to help. So this is the preaching spirit. This Srila Prabhupada inculcated in his entire movement. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. This is Rupa Goswami's mood. Rupa Goswami's mood was and he understood the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is his heart? Similarly, Rupanuga, Srila Prabhupada is a perfect Rupanuga. He understood what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, why he came, why he descended to give pure love of Krishna in a very, very easy way. So Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON, and he actually created opportunity for all of us to become anxious, always to be anxious of Krishna. And for a year back, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj gave a very interesting class. The title of the lecture is called as what's that? You join us, we'll make you cry. Join the Hare Krishna movement, will make you cry. The idea is that people are crying in this material world out of frustration, but by joining the Hare Krishna movement, we could really get pure bliss. So that tears that is coming out of pure bliss, that is perfection of one's life. Otherwise, in the material world, we have to suffer and struggle. Another very interesting incident that is there in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Krishna also likes to see his devotees, how much they're anxious for him. Sometimes he tests his pure devotees as well, or very intimate associates. You can see in the prayers of Rukmini, you can see how Krishna teased her. He really wanted to see how much she is affectionate to him. So Krishna puts forth various arguments how he is not a perfect match for Rukmini. And then Rukmini, after hearing all this, she faints actually. And then when she comes to a little bit of senses, she starts very amazing prayers. You can see she starts glorifying Krishna. And she gives so many amazing reasons, and Krishna was so pleased. So so she says, Krishna says, Upalabdham pati prema pativratyam chate nage yad vakyaischalya manaya nadhir mai apakarshita. You captured my heart. You just carried away my heart by your great devotion that you had for your husband. Krishna says that he glorifies Rukmini. He says that, oh Anage, oh sinless one, my dear Rukmini Devi. So she says that your love is pure love, and you are very chaste. You have a great chaste attachment to me, to your husband. Then she says, no, I have put so many arguments. Even though you were shaken by my words, but you never gave up. you were affectionate to me. Your mind could not be pulled away from me. And then we can see it's a very interesting connection that we can see in the Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. While explaining this verse, Atendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bali Kama, he explains about what is pure love. Then that he gives a definition of a pure love. He says that in a situation where The lover and the loved one, when the situation is so bad, the relationship may get broken also. So many different situations are there, but still they hold on together. So he says that that is actually pure love. That's the definition he gives. So same thing in this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is quoting this. Sarvata dhvamsa rahitam satyapi dhvamsa karane yad bhava bandham yunoho saprema parikirtitaha. When the affectionate bond between a young man and a young woman can never be destroyed, even when there is every cause for the destruction of that relationship, the attachment between them is said to be pure love. So that we can see between Krishna and the gopis. It has nothing to do with any mundane love. It's pure love on the pure platform. So Srila Prabhupada, in one of the conversations and one of the lectures, he discusses about what is this anxiety. So Srila Prabhupada, there is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, probably he's from Australia, I'm not sure, Citta. Is he from Australia? Yeah. So in the Transcendental Diary, this incident is mentioned. He says that he was asking, so you know that devotee is paradukka dukki. So he's raising a question with Prabhupada. A devotee is always unhappy to see others suffering. Yes, Prabhupada replied, this is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. This kind of anxiety is welcome. He explained that in the material world, people are in anxiety to get money and sex. But in the spiritual realm, the anxiety is to get Kṛṣṇa. The anxiety is there, but the quality is different. So Citta is asking further question. If we are in anxiety that we cannot perform devotional service nicely, that is all right? Prabhupada explained that it is not so easy to become anxious for Kṛṣṇa. One can get such anxiety only after many millions of lives of pious activities. If one becomes full of anxiety for Kṛṣṇa, that is the highest stage of perfection. He said that this stage cannot be imitated. However, by following the regulative principles, one gradually comes to this platform. Citta asked, if one is in anxiety because he has a falling down from following the regulative principles, is that material anxiety? Srila Prabhupada said, yes, anxiety for oneself is material, whereas anxiety for Kṛṣṇa is spiritual. Smiling, he quoted Rupa Goswami, who said that if one can purchase anxiety for Kṛṣṇa, one must do it at any price. But the price, he said ironically, is that one must be in anxiety to have it. That anxiety is not available even after millions of births of pious activities. So if we are performing the deity worship and we get in anxiety, how to make it nice? He asked. Yes, that is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. Srila Prabhupada said, if you become anxious to worship deity, how to dress Kṛṣṇa nicely, that will develop your anxiety for Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, deity worship is essential. Exactly in time to get up, to offer Mangalarati, to dress. This anxiety is the beginning of Kṛṣṇa anxiety. Then when you become perfect, you will always be anxious for Kṛṣṇa. And that is perfectional stage. Therefore, by the injunction of the Shastra, regulative, it is a way of creating that anxiety. So we must follow, then we will come to the real anxiety. Then another devotee is asking Srila Prabhupada, if being in anxiety about whether he's distributing a lot of books or not is spiritual, again Prabhupada gave his confirmation. For selling books, anxiety is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. If you become very anxious how to sell more books, that is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. That is not trade anxiety, that is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. Guru Kripa Maharaj took advantage of the conversation to clear up a managerial point. Some people say that when I go on Sankirtana to sell books, I become in too much anxiety if I'm not doing well. So I would rather not do it. Sometimes, Prabhuji, it's all too much, let me stay back. It's too much anxiety. So Prabhupada said, but Prabhupada replied, no, that is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. He does not know. Let him know that that is Kṛṣṇa anxiety. Mother Yashoda became mother of Kṛṣṇa so that she would always remain in anxiety for Kṛṣṇa. Whether Kṛṣṇa is safe, that is mother's anxiety. Therefore, she became mother. How to become in Kṛṣṇa anxiety? This philosophy nobody knows. Everyone takes Kṛṣṇa as the father. Father means I am anxietyless. Father, you supply my wants. And to become father of Kṛṣṇa means to purchase anxiety for Kṛṣṇa. This philosophy they do not know. And Prabhupada further he says, Prabhupada said that Mother Yashoda is in constant anxiety for Kṛṣṇa, wondering if he is safe, if some monkey is bothering him, or if some demon is threatening him. It is the transcendental irony that only the devotees can understand. The Mayavadis want Shanti, peace, but they cannot become anxietyless. The anxiety should be purified from material contamination and it should be only for Krishna. There's another, and we can see the pure devotees, they could, any situation, they could see it as in connection with Krishna. So Prabhupada, once he was walking alongside a garden, he saw, Prabhupada stopped alongside a huge cactus with large jagged blades that came out from the central hardcore and hung downwards, treacherously close to the path. Each of the stiff blades was bordered with hard needle, sharp spikes. So Prabhupada smiled. The messengers of Yamaraj, he said, dragged sinful living beings through plants such as these. So when he saw the cactus, this was Srila Prabhupada's realization. So he said, that is anxiety, Srila Prabhupada said Citta Hari. That is anxiety when one goes to Yamaraj and has to face. Prabhupada grinned, yes, that is the result of material anxiety. So that is the point. So Srila Prabhupada said that we can overcome the material anxiety by engaging in Lord's pure devotional service, and we have a great opportunity for that. Just conclude with one other amazing incident where the Lord also has loving exchanges with his pure devotees. There is an incident that is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam when Prahlad Maharaj is being glorified. He was glorified for his pure devotion, and then we can see in the Srimad Bhagavatam there is gradation, how each devotee, being glorified. You are the greatest devotee, you are the purest devotee, and then this devotee, then every devotee points out to another great personality. In the hierarchy of Rasavichar, the gradations of devotees are increasing. So when Prahlad was glorified like this, at one point of time, Prahlad is being glorified for, he once wanted to take darshan of Pitavasi. There is the form of the Lord in Naimisharanya. He was called as Pitavasi. So he went on a pilgrimage to Naimisharanya. While he was moving to pilgrimage, on the way he saw a sadhu, dressed in saffron robes, but it was a little unusual. He had bow and arrow and other weapons with him. So Prahlad saw, what is this? Sadhu dressed like this. So, and Prahlad is in the mood of a Kshatriya, and it is a responsibility of a Kshatriya to see that dharma is always established. So he felt that this is something awkward, this is something wrong. So let me fix the situation. So he wanted to have a fight with this sadhu. So he took his bow and arrow, and then he started, there was a fight that encountered between both of them. The fight was going on for days. So every day, that sadhu was very powerful, was not able to defeat him. So every day morning, Prahlad will go back, and then one day he took a vow that I will defeat him. And then, one fine day morning, after a few days, that day morning, he was offering his prayers to his worshipable deity. So he was offering prayers to his worshipable deity. He said that, what's going on? I'm not able to do anything. I want to establish dharma. That's why I'm doing this. Then suddenly he saw, just next to the deity, the garland that he had offered to the deity was the garland was on the same sadhu who came to fight with him. The garland was on him. Then he understood that the Supreme Lord himself had come to fight with him. It was Narayana himself. Then the Lord, understanding the mood of Prahlad he said he wanted to defeat the Lord. So the Lord, what he did, he said that, my dear Prahlad, what is there for you to defeat me? I am already defeated, he said. So the Lord was so anxious to please Prahlad, and Prahlad wants to please the Lord. So this is the loving exchange between the Lord and his devotees. So Prabhupada has created such a great opportunity for all of us to enter into this great loving exchange between the Lord and his devotees, which is on the pure platform. So by the mercy of the Acharyas, it is possible that we can also experience this great anxiety. And then everything starts with the basics. Right now we are in the gutter, we are in this material world, suffering here with mind and senses. But at least for us, we have the direction, we have the path, everything is set by our Acharyas. So all we have to do is, we have to, in great sincerity, take to this path and follow what the Acharyas have given us. And then we can really make wonderful progress. And we can see here that the great pure devotees of the Lord are thinking about the welfare of Kṛṣṇa, how to please Kṛṣṇa, how to protect Kṛṣṇa. And then we can see, of course, this is also there is also a lot of Vatsalya Bhav that is happening here, that Kṛṣṇa doesn't need to be protected, but the devotees in the Vrindavan, that is their mood, they are always thinking of the welfare of the Lord. So I'll just stop here. If you have any questions or comments or any realizations, any points to add.
Just on the point of anxiety, The karmis get anxiety because they're engaged in activities of sense gratification. They're trying to enjoy life. So the result of that anxiety is that they are rewarded with birth and death.
Yes.
And increasing suffering. Whereas a devotee does the same work and experiences the same anxiety, the result is he gets freedom from birth and death and permanent relief from all kinds of frustration and suffering.
It's an amazing point. Yeah, so a devotee is, the same activities is training with body, mind, and words for the please Krishna, and then he's completely become free from anxiety. Not only that, he is the greatest suffering that one has with birth and death. He is free from that. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. And also one other thing, I just thought that also the kind of anxiety the people in the material world they take, we can just write here. The results can be seen. So many different kinds of diseases that we see here. So many kinds of diseases. People are suffering out of greed and lust and all kinds of diseases. You die, literally you die because of those diseases. Such a suffering. Still they don't want to give up. They want to just go on with that.
Another point devotees should be aware of is that Krishna supplies everything for his devotees. So even if a devotee needs something, Krishna will supply it.
Yes.
So, and as far as suffering goes, Citta in Australia, he was temple president of Adelaide Temple, and I was a bhakta, and he had a motorcycle accident.
Oh.
So he was very, very severely injured. He could barely walk. So he had joined the temple, but he was still suffering greatly, and he had to literally drag himself around the temple because he couldn't hardly walk. And there was talk about amputating his legs. So he was so severely injured. But after some time, he got better as a result of just being engaged in devotional service. Practically no medical help, just he gradually got better. So we shouldn't think that if we become a devotee, then we will be missing out on something. Because Krishna knows our heart, so he will supply whatever we need. Of course, he won't give us anything which will hurt our devotional service. But if something is required and we desire it, then Krishna will give that.
Yeah.
Because he only thinks of the well-being of his devotees. So becoming a devotee doesn't mean that you may not obtain something. You will always obtain whatever you need in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, Krishna understands the heart of his devotees and is always ready to provide and whatever is required. Yeah, it's an amazing point. Yes. One other last point I was thinking also as a spiritual master also has a lot of anxiety to see the progress of the disciple. That's again an amazing thing. He has, we can see that one amazing incident when Srila Prabhupada sent Brahmananda Prabhu and Garga Muni to Pakistan and places where there was war, and he was in great anxiety. Prabhupada was just thinking, what happened to them, and when he heard the news that there was that bombing that happened in Pakistan, and he was really worried. And when he saw that they came back, Prabhupada was in tears. He just embraced Brahmananda. He's again, this is all on the perfect spiritual platform. But whereas here in the material world, there's a so-called, they just cry for, everything is for money. They will cry, they will do everything. It's all for money and it's all for whole cheating business. But then this pure loving exchanges we can see. And the spiritual master has got great anxiety for that. And that's again on the spiritual platform. Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. We are all anxious to go and honor prasadam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.